Shadow beneath thy hand, may we forever stand, true to our God, true to our native land.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Dr. Jim Dalton, Executive Vice President and Provost at the University of Alabama. Thank you for being here tonight. On behalf of President Bell and all the faculty of the University of Alabama, I want to congratulate our graduates and thank you for being here. I want to also thank the BFSA, Mr. Jackson, and all its members for starting this great tradition and continuing it at the University of Alabama. It's a really wonderful event. Also want to thank the parents, the families, and the friends for being here. We do all that we can at the university to make sure that the students that come here succeed and reach their goals, but without your support that you do on a daily basis, it just wouldn't be possible. And really, I'm grateful to you for all that you do, both tonight and throughout the year, to help them along their way. And last but not least, I want to congratulate our soon-to-be graduates and remind you that you have one more 8 a.m. class on Saturday morning at Coleman Coliseum. We look forward to seeing you there. Your journeys have all been unique, and you're all receiving different degrees. But you know, it's been a unique time to go to college and finish any degree with the pandemic, the after effects of the pandemic, hybrid teaching, online learning, and everything that came with it, masks, vaccinations, and whatnot. And so your ability to strive, succeed, overcome these barriers and challenges just is testament to all that you've done and the bright futures ahead of you. So congratulations again, and roll tide.
Good evening and welcome first to our parents. Thank you for entrusting your son and your daughter, grandson and granddaughter to us. It has been our joy and our passion to have worked with them over the last 4 years. To BFSA, thank you again for this event, and to the graduates. Y'all doing some big things, and we're excited about that. I recently had an opportunity to go down to the EJI Museum, and from that, I want to draw my remarks. Doctors, lawyers, chiefs, mothers, daughters, brothers, sisters, 12 million human trafficked to these Americas. Anyhow, 400 years of terrorization sustained. Anyhow. The experience of lynching, the era of Jim Crow, attempts to close down any dream, deferred or otherwise, anyhow. Marching until the leather comes off the shoe for rights more than deserved. Anyhow. Brown v. Board changes the game. Anyhow. Authoring Lucy knocked on the door. Anyhow. Malone and Hood walked in with that special walk, reflecting they knew a better day was ahead. Anyhow. You await the diploma in hand, 4 years done, accomplishments as none could ever have imagined. Anyhow, to my melanated brothers and sisters, my black girl magic, my more than everything brothers, beyond a shadow of a doubt, you are, in fact, your ancestors' wildest dream. Anyhow. And the dream is so well and so powerful. The future so bright. Once again, I'm compelled to put on my shades. Anyhow, all the best to you as you move forward.
Good evening, everyone. I am most delighted to have the privilege of introducing our speaker for the evening. I am Dr. Tanjanita Johnson, Senior Vice Chancellor for Academic and Student Affairs at the University of Alabama System. If I had to list the top 3 most noted qualities of this evening's speaker, I would quickly have to mention her energy, her passion for life, and an unwavering commitment to students. I see some nods. And as you might expect, these are all qualities that make Dr. Rosalind Moore Miller, Assistant Vice President for Student Engagement at the University of Alabama, an exceptional student affairs professional and the kind of individual that people just like having as a part of their team. Dr. Moore Miller oversees 5 departments that work collectively to foster engagement that supports the growth and development of UA students through active and intentional engagement in experiential learning opportunities. As someone who learned for herself the value of being an engaged student, she is all about student success and efforts that propel students to be their best here at the capstone and wherever life may take them. Your program provides just a small glimpse into our speaker's notable accomplishments, and I hope that you have taken some time to review them. From this, though, you may note that as Assistant Vice President, she has successfully overseen more than 650+ student organizations in her experience at the university, and has devoted much of her time to developing and implementing processes that support equity and growth for students. Without a doubt, she is a tried, true, and trusted member of the UA community, having served in past roles in housing and residential communities, the Office of the Dean of Students, fraternity and sorority life, and graduate student services. A 2-time graduate of Jacksonville State University, where she earned a bachelor's degree in English and political science, and a master's degree in counselor education with an emphasis in college student personnel, she is also proof that this is where legends are made, having received her PhD at the University of Alabama in Social and Cultural Foundations. Our speaker serves as an advisory board member to the University of Alabama Blackburn Institute and was the recipient of the Division of Student Life Mission Excellence Award in 2017 and the Judy Bonner Presidential Medallion Prize in 2021, which is among the highest honors bestowed on campus. Finally, I would be derelict in my duties in this introduction if I didn't enthusiastically mention that our speaker is also every woman's dream in Crimson and Cream as a member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. Now, I might be a bit biased. Ladies and gentlemen, the list of accolades and experience of our distinguished speaker are extensive, but she declares that her greatest role is that of wife to her husband, Robert Miller, and mother to her 4-year-old son, Emery, who begins pre-K this fall. Please join me in welcoming to the dais our speaker, Dr. Rosalind Moore Miller.
Good evening, good evening. Little Emery tried his best to show up tonight. However, I knew that Dr. Johnson didn't want to be carting around a 4-year-old while I was up here trying to talk to you all, so I knew he probably wouldn't be very still. So 4.5, going to pre-K, that pretty much probably explains it to most of you. So I'm so honored to have the opportunity to speak with you all this evening, and I really just want to take this opportunity to have you really appreciate the moment that you sit in tonight. How many of you can look around this room and agree and amen me that this thing called college has been an experience? At the graduate level, at the undergraduate level, it really doesn't matter. Completing a degree is no small feat. It's not small business, and it certainly was not a small thing to do in the midst of the world that we find ourselves in today. And so I just want you to give yourselves a pat on the back for that, because it really is worth that. But this was also a group project. I personally never really cared for group projects that much, probably because I'm a little bit of a control freak and I want to be in charge of what's going on. However, this was a group project, and that's a testament to the folks that are sitting in the room this evening that are helping you celebrate this momentous occasion. This was not something that you could have done by yourselves, and I'm sure there were many phone calls, there were many nights, there were many back and forths, many conversations about money, many conversations about procrastination, all those things that really built and got you to this point. And so as you look at your time at UA, I'm sure it is stacked with ups and downs, triumphs, near misses, even moments of brilliance. Some of you will say there were more moments of brilliance than the others. That's, I'm sure, the case. And that's no shock, because all of those experiences have led you to this room and will lead you across that stage in less than 48 hours from now to accept the award, accept that degree, accept that moment. And so this really is about this experience. And so, you know, I personally really love milestone moments like this, because it really opens the door to mark a physical change. A lot of times when we reach these milestone moments, there's a physical change in our environment. We might be moving, we might be getting a new location to live in. There's just that physical piece of it. But in addition to that, you might have a new daily routine. Your routine used to be class, work, books, papers. Now it may shift to something different. And then there's the psychological endorphins. How many of y'all feel those when the new year comes about? This is one of those moments where you get that similar opportunity to feel that endorphin, that moment where you're like, you know what, this is a new door, I have a new way, I have some paths that I can take. And so this really is a time in our lives when we are both expected and encouraged to explore a new opportunity. And there's few of those times in our lives where people really look at you and they say, this is a time for you to really take a look at what's going on and think about, what do you want to be? What do you want to do? Where do you want to go? And they encourage it. You know, most days, at my age and where I am, if I come to my parents and I say I want to do something new, they look at me like I'm crazy because that door has closed. They're like, no, you need to be worried about what Emery wants to do, what he's trying to go, where he's going. And so really, this is a great, unique opportunity for you to really think about that. It's a moment of energy to capitalize on. And sometimes we get that moment of energy and we don't necessarily use it the way we should. And I have to be honest, I've been there. I spent my life growing up, I was an Army brat, and so In that time, we had a lot of new places that we lived because my father, about every 3 years, he had a new duty station, and we would pack up, go to that new duty station, and I would say, okay, I'm gonna reinvent myself and start new and start fresh. But it wasn't until I got a little bit older that I really started thinking about the opportunity of that, and also thinking about really what comes with experiences and what comes with change. And I have to be honest that lately, my life has had a lot of experiences and changes, and so that's also been kind of prevalent. I decided to get my PhD, get married, and start a new job and some other stuff all in about the same 2-year span. And so I had declared that in 2020 I was doing nothing. Well, I didn't realize the world would actually hear me, and I did nothing. And really it was about, for me, I'd had like all those kind of tumultuous moments. They were big moments, and it really made me hit home more on how important experience is and how important opportunity is. And I really come to realize recently that a lot of what is sold to us in media and through corporations and through other decision making is experience. Then I started thinking about experience. It's really part of my job as well. We talked about engagement. It's really about creating experiences for students and opportunities. And experience is a really packed word. It means a lot of different things. I mean, it's very complex. We have and create experience. We live experiences. We learn from experiences. And we even utilize those experiences to inform us. And you know what else? All of these experiences are valuable. They're worth something. And if you don't believe me, plan a trip to Disney World. I recently did, and it has literally pushed back my retirement dates by a lot. But I needed that experience. But as I started thinking about the power in those various types of experiences we encounter, that's what I really wanted to hone in on today. And I want you to reflect on this particular intersection in your life. Your unique collection of experiences has given you a lens or a prism to see the world the way you see it today. And we all see it differently. We all have a different lens that we're looking through. But when you look through that prism, you see those collection of overlapping lenses, and at the intersection of those, you see unique shapes. These intersections really represent the various experiences and background that you've collected, and it's that connection point of those things. When we think of intersections, though, a lot of times, we think about choices, going left, going right. You think about being in a car, being on a road. But I'd like in this scenario today to think about it as the point where those intersections combine. What's at that point? That very unique point. You are that very unique intersection point. And your lived experience makes up that intersection. And no two humans have the same crossroads or intersection. Kimberly Crenshaw, a researcher scholar who coined that phrase, coined intersectionality as a phrase, said that intersectionality is a lens through which you can see where your experiences, aka that power that I was talking about, I talked about power, where you can see that power come together and collide, interlock, and intersect. Your journey intersected with the University of Alabama for a reason. And now you have an opportunity to represent that and stand in a space that is uniquely yours. Another thing that she talked about with intersectionality is that only someone who's been close and has had experience with the circumstance can best share how to find solutions when there are solutions that need to happen. And you are now solely equipped to find solutions at your intersection, at at the intersection of all the lovely melanated folks we have in this room, the intersection of your identity, your race, your degree, the experiences that you bring to the table, all of those things really create a very special knapsack specifically for you. And the uniqueness of that space is priceless. It's more than valuable. As you leave the University of Alabama, you will be able to elevate needs, offer solutions, engage the communities that you are a part of, as well as find ways to use that space of intersection in your jobs. Dr. Arthurine Lucy Foster, in her address to a crowd gathered on campus in 2017 to commemorate a marker in front of what was then Graves Hall, now to be named in her namesake, she said, "If you don't know your history, you will forget your past." Well, let's apply that to what we're talking about today in terms of experience and intersections. And I'll take it to one step further. If you don't know the value of your experiences, which is that history, if you don't know it, you won't be able to use your past experiences in a way that can propel you to the place where you need to be and where you're supposed to be. If we did not know Dr. Foster's story, we would not understand the significance of this very ceremony. We also would not understand the significance of this point of intersection where we find you, this body of graduates. I would not be standing here talking to you. We honestly would not be able to understand the beauty of the opportunity that awaits us and the new levels that will be achieved as a result of the people in this room who get to stand on the shoulders of Dr. Arthurine Lucy Foster. Sit on that for a moment. And as you sit here today, in this moment and in this opportunity, I want you to think about doing that with intention. One of my favorite gospel artists is Travis Green. I won't ask y'all to sing anything, but one of the favorite artists I have is him. And he has this song that says, "All things are working for my good." He's intentional, never failing. And I realize when I hear those lyrics that intention is born out of experience and expectation. When we know better, we do better. And when we take the wins and losses, we make other gains. So I have personally been trying to begin to leverage my experiences as one of the greatest tools that I have. And I challenge you to do the same. The many paths of your life are a uniquely designed tool, building a very specific and intentional story. That in and of itself is a credential, folks. That's a credential. Just like the one that you're going to proudly update on your LinkedIn page, hopefully tagging the University of Alabama in the next few days. If you haven't already. Some of y'all probably jumped the gun. Who already has their page updated? Hey, they gotta get that job. So, as you begin to think about the power you yield in your story, I want you to remember a few other things along the way. And these are just Roz's knapsack right here. This is not really, anything that is scientific or proven, but it worked for me, so I thought I would share it with you. We're talking about experience, but we also recognize that all experience doesn't feel good, right? It doesn't all feel good. But though everything that happens to you is personal, it's not personal. Now I'm gonna unpack that a little bit. I use this phrase, probably everybody that works with me has heard this 1,000 times. It's like one of my favorite mantras because you're going to encounter setbacks in different parts of your life, on your job, in relationships, pretty much everywhere. And sometimes it's literally going to seem like someone made a decision and they directly said, "I'm gonna put Roz's head on this bull's eye right now. I don't like her, I'm coming for her." And then you realize that they don't even know you. AT&T does not know me. So when they cut my phone off one day, it had nothing to do with me personally, but it was personal. But what I had to think about that is that though it may happen to you, it's not always about you. And so challenge yourself to find the thing that you can control or learn from it so that it adds to your prism, that experience we talked about, that prism that creates that unique shape, and increases your opportunity to do something else, learn from that, and grow something else from that experience. Second, this is actually from my very little 4-year-old son. It is concentrate so you won't get distracted. I'm gonna tell you what happened. So, I'm riding into work one day, and we haven't made it to drop him off yet to preschool or daycare. And my mother, either my mother or my father, they talk to him on the phone in the morning, and they have wild conversations about everything. He talks 90 minutes, nothing. He's always talking. But this particular day, he was like very, 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 very quiet. And if he had not been strapped down in a seat, I would have been very, 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 very concerned that somebody riding behind me was doing something that he shouldn't have been doing. But he was strapped in, and he was just very quiet. And my mother, she asked him, she was like, "Why are you so quiet, Emery?" And he was like, "Oh no, I'm just concentrating so I won't get distracted." And she was like, "I don't know what he's concentrating on, but he's very serious about it at this moment." And one thing you gotta know about my mom, she's a minister and she's a writer, and she's a loving mother and very thoughtful, very mothering. And so when I used to get in trouble when I was younger, she'd write me like a 4-page letter, and then I have to read it, and I'd be sad, and I'd feel really like a terrible person, because I'm very much like my dad, so I don't do that. And she left, and she got home that night, and she started blogging about this, because she started thinking about it. She was like, "You know what? That will preach." So this is a little excerpt of something that she wrote, and she was like, "Distractions will prevent you from giving full attention to something else. It can cause extreme agitation of the mind or emotions, and sometimes distraction is even wrapped up in a little pretty package. But how do we elude distraction? Anybody know how? You anticipate it and you prepare for it, because it always happens. It comes in lots of forms. So ultimately, what she was saying is that we put our mind to action on a particular thing, and we use our ability, we use our knowledge to set a course so we don't get distracted. Just like Emery said, I'm gonna concentrate so I don't get distracted. My only hope is that he still knows that like 5 years from now. So we'll see, I'll report back. Last two things. I recently had a retreat with my director team, and we decided to talk amongst each other about what song would emulate, like what song would represent your college experience. And you know, one of them is laughing in the back. I'm not gonna tell them what you said. But I was thinking about it, and honestly, I'd never thought about it, even though I'm the one that came up with the questions, but I had personally never thought about it. So I was sitting there, and I was thinking about it, and I said, you know what? No Scrubs. And that was it. And, Scrub is a guy who thinks he's, y'all know the words. But I was like, when I started thinking about it, I was like, No Scrubs is really about somebody who say they doing something that they're not doing. That's the bottom line. That's a scrub. You say you're doing something, but you're not doing anything. So for me, I really thought about it, and I was like, yeah, that was my college life, because I was not worried about that type of stuff. I was really focused on what I had going on, but when I started thinking about it, I was like, we could really use that in our daily life, and thinking I'm only gonna be about saying things that I wanna do. And so I just challenge you, as you think about the things that you want to do, if you say it, do something. Do something about it. You have that power. You're at that moment of intersection, because guess what? You may be the only person that can do it. So do it. And finally, I encourage you to see yourself in the place that you're in, like this place right now. Don't let imposter syndrome and the devil of comparison, sometimes called social media, take away this new door and opportunity ahead of you. Beyonce just dropped a new album, but if you didn't know, but she once told a reporter in an interview, I don't like to gamble, but if there's one thing I'm willing to bet on, anybody know what she said? It's herself. And so what I would encourage you to do today is to continue to bet on yourself. Family, continue to invest in their progress of betting on themselves. With good measure, give them good advice. But also, remember that your unique collection of experience could be the very thing our world needs to unlock this level of Jumanji, because you know, everybody's been talking, we playing Jumanji out here. You could have the key to unlock and get us out of here. And you may very well be the likely catalyst for greatness. The state of Alabama has 24% of our population in the state of Alabama has an education beyond the high school diploma. This room in and of itself is busting down some statistics. And so we challenge you to stare those things down. We challenge you to take what is yours and own it. And we challenge you to really seek to think about your experiences as your best weapon. Because of your journey, this room will look even more different one day. And I just want you all to know that you're all amazing. You are ready for that next challenge, and your experiences are worth something. They are priceless. So please go out and show the world just how much. And thank you so much for allowing me to come talk to you tonight.
Didn't Dr. Miller-Moore give us a wonderful address? It is BFSA's tradition to stow the speaker for every occasion. So at this time, we will give her the Kente stole. Thank you. And lastly, we have the Black Excellence Cord. Dr. Miller-Moore, you are Black Excellence. Thank you. Let's give her another hand.
Good evening and welcome again. Thank you, Dr. Moore Miller, for that amazing speech today. I have been very blessed by it, and I know that my experiences are also going to change moving forward, so thank you so much. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Dr. Mercy Mumba. I am an associate professor in the Capson College of Nursing and the founding director for the Center for Substance Use Research here at the University of Alabama. I also have, thank you. I also have the privilege of serving as the faculty advisor for the African Student Association. And some of you may not already know this, but I was actually born and raised in Zambia, Africa. And so this ceremony has very important meaning to me personally and professionally. And I really thank the University of Alabama and the Black Faculty and Staff Association for putting this together. My job here today is to explain to you the meaning and importance of the Kente robe as well as the Nyansapo ceremony. And we already have some blurbs on the screen here today, but I also wanted to let you know a little bit about why this is so important to connect to where we're from and the power that comes from that. So Nyansapo is a West African symbol created by the Akan people of Ghana, and it represents wisdom, ingenuity, intelligence, and patience. The Akan people believed that to have a purposeful and fulfilling life, one needed to apply wisdom, ingenuity, intelligence, and patience. Each graduating student here today will be bestowed the Kente robe, and the Kente stow is a symbol of achievement and celebration of overcoming adversity. which I believe every graduate here today will tell you just how significant this moment is for them. So the stole itself has several stripes, and the meaning of the colors of the stripes, for gold, we have high worth, richness, fertility, royalty, and prosperity, as well as monetary wealth. Green represents land and the natural resources of vegetation, harvest growth, and spiritual growth and renewal. Red represents passion, bloodshed from our ancestors, as well as the death of those who sacrificed their lives in order to redeem themselves from colonial rule. Black represents the most significant and incorporated color of the Kente stove, representing spiritual strength and maturity, but it also represents the color of our melanated skin and the pride that comes with everything that we carry with us. Lastly, the stool on the Kente stole indicates status, power, and succession of chiefs and kings, but it is also a representation of the role that you will each have as leaders in the community and the influence that you will have as you continue to pursue greatness in every sphere of influence. So as you are going to come up here to the stage to be stowed, I want to encourage you to prepare it to walk into your futures and to carry yourself as legends, trailblazers, and people that are going to have influence in whatever sphere that you have. You are your ancestors' greatest dreams, and today I applaud you and I say congratulations and roll tide.
Awesome program so far. Thank all of our participants. I'm here to give brief instructions on how the program will proceed from this point forward. Once your degree classification is called, graduates will line up on my right, and the parents or significant individual who's going to participate is going to line up on my left. The students will come to the blue line and then meet in the middle and exit the stage, okay? Parents, when you come up, the ideal is for you to meet the student in the middle of the stage. You will get to see them as they stand right here, okay? So up, round, meet, walk. Up, round, meet, walk, okay? So we're gonna try the first few times, and if anyone get lost, we have ushers here to guide you through. All right, so at this point, we're gonna break for 2 minutes, and I want all of the graduates who still have their Kente stoles to please take that stole and deliver it to the person who is going to stole you at this time, okay? 2 minutes. Are you going to be the person? Dr. Are you going to be the person? Okay, and for those graduates who have no one to stow them for whatever reason, we do have members of our Black faculty and staff faculty team who's willing to participate with you. No one? Okay. And in unique fashion, as Black faculty and staff always do, this particular time we will not go in alphabetical order starting from A, since those with the last name W have to always wait for everyone else to go. So we're going to reverse the order. And parents, be sure that when you see your student, that your student group, that you're in line and you're paying attention to the stage. Please welcome now Dr. Charles Nash.
I have the great pleasure of being a part of this celebration today, and I'm seeing many smiling faces as I look out among the folks seated in the audience, not just the smiling faces of these graduates, but the smiling faces of family members and loved ones who are here today to be a part of this celebration. I took away two things from our speakers earlier. Be uniquely you, anyhow. Be uniquely you, anyhow. Amen, somebody says. My name is Charles Nash. I am pleased to have served the University of Alabama system for lots of years, and today I am retired as the Senior Vice Chancellor for Academic and Student Affairs, Emeritus. Thank you. Erica Jones Williams, Social Work, Dr. Geraldine A.G. Miranda Roush, Communications and Information Sciences, being bestowed by Quinn Kelly and Royce Dickerson. Dr. Shyla McCray. Tony V. Johnson, Higher Education Administration, being bestowed by Dr. Tanjanita Johnson, his wife, and Tiana Johnson, his daughter. Carmen Reese Foster, Social Work, being bestowed by Dr. Sabrina Jackson. Inina Diakay, Analytical Chemistry, being bestowed by Mbukun Ifon. Shanice. Dr. Shanice Carter, Counselor Education and Supervision, being bestowed by Latisse Krim. Mallory Crockett, Instructional Leadership, being bestowed by Elaine Crockett and David Crockett. Daphne Arnold, Doctor of Social Work, being bestowed by Dr. Geraldine A.G. Let's give all of these doctoral candidates one round of applause.
evening, everyone. My name is Andre Denham. I am the Associate Dean for Graduate Academic Affairs in the Graduate School, and I have the privilege of calling the names of those students that will be receiving master's degrees. So all students that are receiving master's degrees, if you could line up here on the side of the stage. And same as we would do with doctoral students, so family members, if you see your person lining up here, the person that's going to be hooding, if you'd be on the, meet them on the left-hand side of the stage. Thank you so much. Thank you. Is this your person? Okay. First, we have Virginia Jones McCrae, graduating with a degree in family nurse practitioner, being enrolled by Ashton Jones. Next, we have Caitlin McClung, graduating with a master's in English, being enrolled by Dr. Yolanda Minora. Next, we have Jamila Flowers, being enrolled by her father's Ricky Flowers. Next, we have Lyndon Batiste, graduating with a master's in library information studies, being enrolled by Leighton Batiste, his brother. And next, we have Chandrika Jajuan Barkley, graduating a master's in family as a family nurse practitioner, being enrolled by Messiah Drags.
Hello, I'm Shayla Smith. I'm the Chief Diversity Officer and the BSW Field Coordinator for the School of Social Work.
Good evening, I'm Morian Soller, Student Services Manager for the School of Social Work, and we would like to just congratulate our graduates, Summer 22, and on behalf of the School of Social Work, we would just like to say continue your education and continue moving forward. We have the honor of congratulating our students who are graduating with a bachelor's degree, so if you can please stand and move to the right side. And if I could have your attention for a second, once we call the names out, at the end of the name, I will say Ashe, and if you can repeat after me, that would be great. First, we have Ratosha M. Ward, graduating with a degree in Communication Studies, being enrolled by Misty Ward. Ashe. Next, we have Ashaya Ward, majoring in Public Health, enrolled by Yamika McInnes. Ashe. Next, we have Caroline B. Townsend, majoring in Human Development and Family Studies, been enrolled by Willie T. Townsend Jr. Ashe. Next, we have Cameron Tolbert, majoring in finance, been enrolled by Chad Jackson. Ashe. Next, we have Rakia Taylor, major in political science, been enrolled by Madeline Adkoff and Robert Marcus Walker. Sorry. Ashe. Next, we have Kinsley Pompey, major in psychology, enrolled by Courtney Mosley Wilson. Ashe. Next, we have Kanisha Mufford, major in Bachelor of Science in Public Health, being enrolled by Clarissa Mufford. Ashe. Next, we have Alyssa Morrison, major in management, enrolled by Anejah Foster. Ashe. Next, we have Asia McCrae, majoring in Spanish arts, been enrolled by Shonda Pruitt. Ashe.
He's Diedrich, and he's enrolled by his grandfather, Pastor Ben Jackson.
Next, we have Diedrich Jackson, major in mechanical engineering, being enrolled by Pastor Ben Jackson. Ashe. Next, we have Colin Nicole Hines, majoring in communicative disorders, enrolled by Mr. and Miss Gerald Hines. Ashe. Next, we have Alyssa Hill, majoring in communication studies, being enrolled by Cassandra and Mark Franklin.
She's going to be enrolled by Pam Foster, yeah.
Ashe.
It's Janasia. Okay. Next, we have Janasia Goodman, majoring in marketing, enrolled by Dr. Pamela Foster. Ashe. Ariana Glover, majored in advertising, enrolled by Pernell Glover. Ashe. George and Shirley. Timothy George, majored in Commerce and Business Administration, enrolled by Emily George and children. Ashe. Danielle Elaine Gardner, majored in criminal justice, enrolled by Kim Gardner, her mother. Ashe. Jacinta Gavin, Bachelor's of Science in Nursing, rowed by James Gavin. Ashe. Janeria Edwards, Accounting, rowed by Clatricia Peterson. Ashe. McKeevian, okay. McKeevian Eaton, majored in Public Health with a concentration in Health Professions, rowed by Kim Eaton. Ashe. Brandon Crittenden, majored in Psychology, rowed by Juanita Crittenden. Ashe. Next we have Evelyn Letitia Brown, majored in Commerce and Business Administration, rowed by Verdell Brown, her mother. Gabrielle Cassidy Bowie, majored in Social Work, rowed by Jeffrey and Karen Bowie. Ashe. Ashe. Brian Binion McCoy, majored in Biology, rowed by Terrence, his father, Terrence McCoy, Senior. Ashe. And last, Antonio James Andrew, majored in Human Development and Family Studies, rowed by Cecilia Walker. Ashe.
Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Stephen Hood, the Interim Vice President for Student Life, and I have the privilege of leading the Graduate Declaration. Graduates, I'm going to ask you to stand for this portion of the program. And I'll ask you to repeat after me. I have walked through the doors that were once closed. I embody Black excellence and have achieved greatness. I will continue to succeed throughout life, but remember to lift others as I climb. Good job. That was a mouthful there. Graduates, I'm going to now ask you to turn and face your family, friends, those who have supported you throughout your academic journey. And as you face them, I'm going to ask you to repeat after me one more time, really 3 more times. Thank you for supporting me during my academic journey thus far. I would not be where I am today without you. It takes a village to raise a child, and I thank you for being my village. Thank you. You can be seated, graduates. I do ask you to remember to always give back so that the next generation of graduates can look to you as part of their village. Thank you, and again, congratulations.
I realize I previously did not introduce myself. My name is Chad Jackson. I'm the president of the Black Faculty and Staff Association. We want to thank everyone for coming this evening. I got a few people to acknowledge, and we're going to go. All right, so if we can have all of the members of the Black Faculty and Staff Association, would you please stand so we can acknowledge you, please? Thank you so kindly. Thank you. All right. All of our UA administrators who are still here, please stand. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, all of our graduates that we're celebrating today, please stand. And the very, thank you, may be seated, they're ready. And the VIP, the very important people who made sure that you were encouraged financially, emotionally, and physically. All of our parents, family, and friends, please stand. Give yourselves a round. To my left on the screen, you will see some of the other opportunities that and programming that Black faculty and staff gets to put on for our faculty, staff, and students here at the University of Alabama. This is just one of our premier programs that we're happy to support. There's a QR code. You can use that with your phone. You can keep up with us, and we'll keep up with you as you continue your journey. I want to take a brief moment and call up the members of the Black Faculty and Staff Program Committee. If you're on the BFSA Program Committee, please come to the stage for a moment. They know who they are. Come on up. Dr. Somerville, come on. Yeah, come on, cross the stage, cross the stage. Follow the blue line like everybody else. Get to the blue. Just so you know, these are the individuals who plan and produce this program. Let's give them a round of applause. Okay. On this particular Nyansapo, we proudly say goodbye to one of our fellow program persons who was instrumental in making sure that this program go without a hitch for many, many years. Dr. Erica Campbell, we have a plaque for you on behalf of BFSA. It says, "In grateful appreciation for your outstanding leadership, solidarity, and service to the University of Alabama Black Faculty and Staff Association, thank you for being a part of our story." All right, show the next slide, please. I think we got you up here, Eric. Yeah. All right. Again, thank you all for being a part of our story on today. This concludes the program. I will advise you, we will put our front screen back up. You can come to the stage, take pictures as you will. The Kente cloth is outside for you to take pictures. And we have a reception to my right in restroom, so please help yourselves. Thank you, Roll Tide, and good evening. Wait, one more thing. For all those who missed the Ashe, let's say it one time together. 1, 2, 3, Ashe. Thank you. Who got a committee? Oh, Brian. Brian. You take committee.